back with another episode. This time I have my good friend Jamille here.
Hey y'all.
And so today we're just going to get to talk and get to know a little bit more about Jamille. So Jamille, go ahead and I want you to start by introducing yourself and as well as explain your career choice.
Okay, thank you for having me. Starting off, so I'm Jamille. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas. I've always kind of known I wanted to do sports. I grew up in Dallas. I went to LSU specifically because I wanted to go to an SEC school because they're just good in sports. And I felt like that was a good place for me to go.
Mm-hmm.
I had some other options to choose from between like Big 10, Big 12, but I knew like SEC was where I wanted to be. What else you asked me? Just kind of how I got started. I actually got started when I was like really young. My mom was really into sports and she had like this little camera. And I remember watching the Cowboys game and I was like recording her and I was like, Mom, how do you feel about Dez Bryant after the game? And that just kind of like always started. I always knew that's what I wanted to do. And then it just went from there. I did, what was it called? Wingspan TV in high school. That kind of started it up, getting me comfortable like in front of the camera and stuff like that. Writing, editing. And then when I went to LSU, I didn't get into Tiger TV my first 2 years. So I was just taking like manship communications classes and just doing my own stuff on the side and just asking some of my teachers who are also like news reporters kind of like what I should do. Then I finally got into Tiger TV. When I did that, I did all LSU sports, reporting, social media, all types of stuff. And I also interned at the Jordy Collada show. He was like big with LSU stuff as well. So I got to do everything with him. And then I ended up at ESPN.
Okay, I love that. So you mentioned that you started your career choice, just based off your experience in watching the show with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel that she had a really big impact on your career choice?
I think so. I think especially like after my mom passing when I was a kid, I think that all her friends always calling her like Miss ESPN. She always had ESPN on, always had a game on, always had Sports Center or something on. So I feel like I think I'm doing it for myself, but just knowing that like I guess in the 80s and 90s women wasn't really doing that, so I can do that and my mom can look down and see me kind of like living her dreams too.
Oh, that's so sweet. So they low-key kind of manifested over your life.
Yeah.
Without you even realizing.
Without me even knowing. We were literally just talking about that before I moved out here with like some of her best friends. They were just like, it's crazy to see how like some of the dreams you might have had for yourself, your kids can like live in those dreams as well.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm sure she's happy. So you also mentioned that you chose your school just based off of, your knowledge. So what was your experience like at LSU, like as far as like your internships and getting active in the school?
I really loved it. I think that was like the perfect school for me to go to. My freshman year, we won football national championship. Then we won basketball my senior year in baseball. So LSU's a sports school. So I think that my internship outside of LSU, they kind of like dealt with all of that. That kind of allowed me to do more deeper things, kind of get the chance to like talk with people more because he had more connections a little bit. So we got to interview some more players and kind of have like a more like a podcast style like this kind of conversation with somebody rather than like regular news reporting types of questions that we did with Tiger TV. So it really allowed me the chance to be more well-rounded. I kind of have like reporter skills, but also have like social media or PR or writing or any of those types of stuff.
Okay. So basically you kind of like always knew you were going to get into the sports field, but did you expect you to end up directly at ESPN, starting out so early?
This probably sounds crazy, but yes, like I just always knew that there was going to be something good for me. I felt like I built up my resume. I feel like I talked to the right people. I went to NABJ over the summer. Shout out NABJ. They got me this job. But I just always knew that it was going to be something that I wanted. I was really only applying for like company type position, the team type position. So I knew I was going to get something that was fulfilling in that way. So I kind of knew. I've never really dreamed small when it comes to like sports and what I wanted to do.
Oh, yes. Dream big, shoot the stars.
Yes,
girl.
That's my best advice.
So how do you like, living out in Connecticut so far?
It's not that bad. Like I know I have my days where I just be like, I hate it out here, but I drove to New York last week, and that was like a cool experience. Just like the scenery, just seeing something different, going under that bridge, that little tunnel that's underwater. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
It's different. I miss the South. I definitely do, but I really like to embrace other cultures and just kind of like see what life is like in different places, because Texas is different from where I went to college in Louisiana. I love Louisiana culture. So now I'm kind of trying to embrace the Northeast culture.
Okay, you've been a little bit everywhere.
Yes.
So with that being said, I'm gonna ask you, just for the people to know, do you think that the East Coast got the best pizza?
I want to say yes, but like I feel like there's probably places that have better pizza, but it's I don't know. I'm kind of like simple when it comes to pizza. Like, I can get some Domino's, I'd be straight. But we went to this one pizza spot in New York. I'm not gonna lie, I've had pizza like that at home. So I mean,
you feel like you had better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You gotta try Sally's out, because I'm from Chicago, so I like the deep dish pizza. But they also got other pizza besides deep dish. But Sally's Pizza, it's out in New Haven.
Okay.
The best.
Oh, I heard about them.
Yeah, they're number one, so you gotta try them. Okay. To make a decision. And then also, how has it been just all around, just for you? Moving out here, starting a new job, being in a new environment, being so far away from home. Like, have you been able to, get active and do things outside of work? Like, just like any organization doing any like community service or anything, or just with your work schedule, since it fluctuates a little bit since you are on events. How would you say that is?
So I would say in the beginning it kind of was hard when I first moved out here, because I moved like dead in the middle of winter, so it wasn't really a lot to do. And then just like going through the whole process of like that whole stuff with my other apartment, and then moving, I think like those first 2 months I wasn't really doing too much, trying to like get acclimated, not die in the snow, all that stuff. But now I think that I'm starting to like figure it out. I've been hanging out and stuff with people, going to different events. We went to like this DJ set, that kind of stuff is cool. I think that's like more of like the East Coast thing, so I like that. And then like just NBA, like now is better, but like that end of March to April, May cusp is like a grind. It's a grind like the whole time, but it's fulfilling, like being able to see your work on ESPN, and then just like literally sitting in the room being like, wow, like I'm watching the finals. I'm watching like things I used to watch as a kid, and being able to produce and like put that together. It's fulfilling. So I think that I'm starting to get acclimated to my schedule and stuff now. I probably need to like get some hobbies, but I like it.
It's gonna take time. Come with ease, you'll eventually venture off and do your own thing. So what would you say is like some of your short-term goals? Like, where do you see yourself in the next 1 to 3 years?
That's a good question. In the next 1 to 3 years, I definitely see me pursuing a different route as it relates to like what I want to do with sports. Probably more so like hands-on in the field type stuff, or in like a coordinating type of way. Definitely, I don't see myself in Connecticut within the next 1 to 3 years. Hopefully, like I can go back to the South, but if not, I'm in my young 20s. Like I don't mind going somewhere different, traveling. And another goal, like it's not a career goal, but like I want a new car. Like I know I just got one like a few years ago, but I really want to like get myself something like that. I feel like this year I've been like doing more things for myself, buying more things for myself. Now that I have like an adult job, like I just got myself this nice purse and wallet, so I'm like, okay, I can kind of like treat myself. So I really, my goal is to treat myself more, like in the next 1 to 3 years.
I love that. A lot of self-care goals, a lot of self-reflection goals too. So I love that. And then what would you say is going to be like your ultimate long-term goal, like in 10 years from now?
My ultimate goal that I've had since I was a kid, I've always wanted to have my own show, and just like I've always wanted to have my own show talking to older athletes in the game or retired athletes, just about like their time in the game, how they feel like things have changed, what they notice like with the newer athletes, any regrets, kind of like a sitting on the couch, talking to your friend, talking to your mom, like a therapy session, just because I feel like for me, that's what makes sports, the personal side of it, the emotional side of it. I feel like there's so many athletes that people don't know their stories, and I'm like, I wish y'all knew these stories. Like when I was at LSU, there were so many stories that people would never know unless you just like talk to people. So I feel like why not talk to the old heads? Like they got the best stories.
Oh yeah, they gonna talk your head off, but they always gonna be
the most game.
Info. Yeah.
So that's my biggest goal.
Okay. I love that. And then also, is there any additional final statements that you want to share for women that want to be in the position that you're currently in, or just even out to your alumni? Like, is there anything that you want to refer to them?
To my alumni, to my Tigers, and to just any girls in sports that want to get into sports or in sports, my biggest advice is to just keep going, shoot for the stars. No, or being denied. Like being denied doesn't mean anything. Like it's just delayed a little bit, but you're just keep going. Honestly, like that's the best thing that I could really say. There's gonna be some days where you're like, I might not hear back from this job, or I might have wanted this job, but just know that like what's for you is for you. God's not gonna send your mail to somebody else's address, so whatever is for you is for you, and just keep shooting for the stars.
I love that y'all heard it from her, and I appreciate you sitting down with me and taking your time out of your day. Most importantly, to come down and have this interview with me.
No problem.
And share just for the girls that want to be in the sports industry.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course.